to another episode of Superpower Review. This is our second episode, and we are your hosts, Kevin and Ryan Videnia. Ryan, what's up?
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Oh, well, I'm doing good. We're 6 days away from Christmas. You got any Christmas shopping done yet?
Only the Christmas shopping that I needed to get done for today. That's really about it.
Well, there you go. We hope we did some of your Christmas shopping. We have a great episode for you today. We're going to talk about some Spider-Man Homecoming, and we're going to talk to you about some Deadpool Back in Black, and there's another surprise. So let's get right into it. Let's not waste another minute. Ryan, Homecoming. What do we got?
Homecoming. Okay, so I have like a section-by-section breakdown of what actually happened in the trailer. So the first thing that we really get to see in Spider-Man Homecoming, and my first question is the tool that's being used by the robbers initially. Okay, what is that tool? Is it Infinity Stone related? And how does it seem like these common criminals with cheap little masks on have this really, really elaborate tool, you know? So that's the first thing that crosses my mind. What do you have to say about that?
I don't know what that tool that you're referring to is, but we definitely get to see a glimpse and possibly another villain, maybe the Shocker. A lot of people are saying the Shocker. And if you check it, if you go through the trailer frame by frame, you can see a distinct costume. You know, it's the yellow pattern, you know, and the stitching.
The quilted, like, cross-stitching on it. Yeah, absolutely.
So we got a lot of things. So first off, we got a trailer of Spider-Man Homecoming. They had a 15-second video of Spider-Man getting this new upgraded costume by Tony Stark, and
it was pretty cool. It was cool to see, like, from Spider-Man's point of view, which was really awesome. And I'd like to see stuff like that actually in the movie. That'd be really cool.
And it's a first-person video, and so when he looks down, you can actually see that he's still wearing his old suit. Yep. So this is probably before Civil War, or him getting the suit before.
Well, what I have here for the suit, because you do get to see both suits in the trailer.
Yes, we do.
And depending on how it's cut up, it's either going to have some flashback scenes where it shows, you know, maybe him still starting, and then maybe explaining in more depth what happened in the Civil War movie in that meeting.
I think that's what's going to happen.
Either that, or Tony Stark is going to be mad at Peter Parker he says, hey, like, let the big guys handle this stuff.
I thought the same thing.
And it's like a punishment, like, okay, well, when you can earn this suit, I'll give it back to you, and then he goes out on his own without the suit.
So the Spider-Man trailer made a debut appearance on Jimmy Kimmel Live on December 8th, so it was literally the day after we recorded our first show, we got a trailer, that 50-second video saying that we're getting a trailer tomorrow. It was epic. I loved every second of it. There were so many things that I saw that made me go, wow. So we have Tom Holland, age 20, playing the role of Peter Parker Spider-Man. I think he's perfect. We're going back to his roots down in high school. He's younger than what Andrew Garfield played as Spider-Man and Tobey Maguire. So I think this is a really good cast for Spider-Man.
See, for me, I feel like this is a little stale. My overall feeling for this trailer is just kind of meh. A little bit more than meh, I guess. You know, we've seen this. This is our third iteration of Spider-Man now that we've seen. And we've seen him in high school every time. And I know they're not going to beat to death how he got his powers this time around, thankfully. But I'm kind of like, you know, I've seen this already. I've seen this a few times. Like, what are you going to give me in this movie that's going to make not only myself, but other people want to pay to go see another Spider-Man story, the third iteration of Spider-Man? Even though more together with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, like, the surprises have been said and done already. We've seen the suit before. We've seen the animation as he's going through the city. One of my first notes really here is the fact that I'm still so sick of seeing a CGI Spider-Man. I'm sick of that. They have the actor, they have the suit looks awesome. Why aren't we getting more of this real actor in the suit being shown? It's all CGI. Like some parts in the beginning was when he's leaning up against the thing and, you know, making his presence known to the villains. The movement looks CGI. When he's upside down hanging and he's fighting them, all that looks CGI. Like, I'm kind of over the computer-generated Spider-Man. Give me the real actor in the suit.
Wow, I'm shocked about what you just said.
Because I've seen it before. Like,
I'm really shocked about what you just said.
As far as like the wingsuit, if you want to talk about the wingsuit, like, yeah, that's cool. That's finally something different that they're showing us that the suit can do.
Well, Marvel is finally paying homage to Steve Ditko, the original artist of Spider-Man, and he used to have those web wings. And in the comics, it served no purpose for the web wings. It was just for looks. And now in the movies and the Marvel universe, they're actually used as a purpose, and it's for him to glide.
Kind of like squirrel suit around the city. And I get it, and it makes sense to catch air and be more fluid in his air movement. So I'm all for that. Another thing I thought was a little weird was the when he presses the spider thing on his suit, and it all just kind of decompresses off of him like the vacuum seal.
That did look very fake.
It's a cool portion of the suit. Like, I think that's awesome that's how he does it. That explains how he gets into a skin-tight suit. But again, it looked terrible. It looked super CGI.
It did.
The only thing I can say is that maybe these trailers are put out to us so fast so that we can see it and get the hype going, that maybe some of this CGI isn't fully polished. But if that's the case, like, come on, you should be showing us the best you can in order to get me to want to go see this movie again, because I'm halfway bored with it, with the first two portions of this series.
Wow.
The music, another thing I want to get to, the music in the soundtrack for the trailer is, again, kind of meh. They use a really kind of catchy, hip, modern song to kind of get those viewers, and we've seen this with Justice League. The Justice League trailer, I hate the music for the Justice League trailer because, again, it's poppy, it's catchy, it's meant for people who might not like this stuff to go, oh, I love this song, let me hear it. And we saw how that kind of ruined Suicide Squad. So I'm just kind of,
I think we're positive and negative here. I felt like the music for the trailer was fitting. I liked it. As soon as that song came on, I was like, that's very fitting for this trailer.
Well, who is this geared towards then? Who's the audience for this movie? Because I might feel like it's not really for us 20, 30-year-olds. It's definitely for that pre-high school age group, like to show, the high school crush and the flirting and the dream girl, and then, you guys are so lame. I thought that joke was so terrible, by the way, when that girl's like, you guys are such losers or whatever. I thought that joke was awful.
Wow, my heart, it hurts.
I'm sorry.
From all this negativity.
This is how I feel,
So we have Tom Holland as Spider-Man. We have Michael Keaton, who is playing the Vulture. What's your thoughts of him playing the Vulture?
Okay.
Are you happy with that at least? I am.
The music right away gets serious when they introduce the Vulture, and that's when it really changes for me, because I'm finally seeing something different. I'm seeing a new villain. I'm seeing a new actor to this villain. I love the way the Vulture looks. He looks scary.
He does look scary. He doesn't look like, the comics where he's got this prissy green suit on,
bald
with the
guy.
fluff, and
I love the threat that he makes in the car. We don't know who he's talking to, but I love when he's like, I'll hurt you and everything you love, and that deep, deep voice. And
that Batman voice.
I feel like he's going to be the best thing about the movie personally, because I'm really excited to see him. I want to see what he does with it. It's going to be different.
And I wonder what his backstory is going to be about. Why is the Vulture appearing? And I think the reason why he has these wings is because of Stark Industries. Really, I think. Well, not Stark Industries, but because of Tony Stark's
failed
technology.
prototype or something.
Right. Well, that's how the Falcon gets his wings. That's one of the Easter eggs of the Avengers. You see Tony Stark's logo right on Falcon's wings. So maybe this is another thing of Tony Stark's. And I feel like that's the reason why Tony Stark is in this movie too. Is he probably plays a part with the Vulture's gear.
Well, that is the end of the trailer, is you get to see Peter Parker, Spider-Man, and Tony Stark, Iron Man, just kind of flying away in the city, and I think that's cool to see. That's different. We haven't seen a team up mashup like that in the theater, and I think the plot of the movie is cool because it seems like Peter Parker is looking for Tony Stark's approval. He wants to prove to Tony, yes, I can do it. I'm the man for the job. I'm here to help you. And we've never seen Peter Parker take that portion on. He's never had to impress anybody. He's always just kind of done his own thing in the movies.
He's young in this movie. He's in high school. Let's just face it. In this movie, he hasn't been Spider-Man for maybe not even a year yet.
Agreed. Yeah.
Okay, so he's going through the ranks. Okay, he doesn't have a father figure, and he sees that in Tony Stark and Iron Man.
That's true.
He wants that.
I thought that hug scene was actually really funny. Like that got me laughing.
Well, that hug scene says a lot because it shows that Tony Stark cares for Peter Parker, Spider-Man, and he wants to help him out, but he has
to remain detached.
He has to remain detached. Exactly. So there's some other Easter eggs in there that I found was pretty funny. Apparently his friend that he hangs out when they're looking at the girl, he's with another fellow friend, and apparently that is Ned Leeds. That's what a lot of people are, and it's on IMDb. He's playing Ned Leeds, and if you're a huge Spider-Man fan like I am, if you know who Ned Leeds is, it's Hobgoblin. This I don't know, I don't see that. I don't think I see anything happening with that. I don't know.
They changed actors with War Machine before and everything,
like
for personal reasons. But who knows what can happen.
There are things about this movie that I'm also happy about. I'm happy that I'm not going to see Gwen Stacy or Mary Jane in this movie.
I wanted to ask you about the love interest. Like, who is this new female character that we're seeing?
This female character we're seeing is another short love relationship that Peter has in the comics. She's not really big. They were dating a couple of issues not long. So it's
I guess that's a positive thing to look forward to.
That's a positive thing.
They're not beating that to death again. I would not want to see another Mary Jane Watson and all that other junk. I need to see new things. This is technically the 6th Spider-Man movie we've had since the 2000s. Okay,
but Marvel has it, and he's coming home. He's coming back home. That's
great and all, But it's like I can't forget. And when those movies came out and they were fresh and hot, and even though Tobey Maguire, you say whatever you want about his performance in the movie, and that stupid face that he makes when he's holding the train behind, which they reference in this trailer.
They do, and
I thought it looked so much better when he's across it.
It looks so much better, and it shows that this Spider-Man that Marvel is doing is so much stronger than what Sony produced. Spider-Man, like a lot of people give Spider-Man a bad rep. Spider-Man is one of the strongest heroes, and they don't show that. I really hate when they show Spider-Man as a wimpy hero, like, oh, I can't do it, and he always gets his butt kicked.
Which is why the Tobey Maguire iteration was, it was cool that we saw Spider-Man on the silver screen. Thankfully, we were so happy about that. But there's been problems with those movie titles through and through.
I'm excited for Homecoming. I want to go see it.
I will see it. We will give a review on it, but I'm not like knocking down doors when the trailer first came out. Okay,
so negative.
He was like, I thought it would be cool if we did like a face reaction of the trailer. So I waited like 3 or 4 days to watch the trailer. So then when he said he had finally seen it, I said, okay, well let me give it a watch and I'll give my full opinion on it and start writing it. And I made sure I gave it a lot of watches. It wasn't just like initial impression. I left it. I felt that way every single time I watched it.
I don't know. I liked what I saw during Civil War. I loved how quick he was. I loved his comebacks.
It was a lot like what we saw in Civil War, though. Him just seeking Tony Stark's approval. And new Spider-Man. Hey, here you go.
Because there's so much. Because he's trying so hard to become an Avenger. He never becomes an Avenger in Spider-Man. But anywho, Spider-Man Homecoming will be in theaters July 7th, 2017. Tom Holland has signed a contract that he will be in 3 different Spider-Man movies, including Homecoming, and he will appear in 3 different Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. On to the next subject. The next subject will be Deadpool Back in Black. This series just ended last week. Very, very disappointing in this.
The salt is real, and it's going to stay on this side of the camera, I swear, because when this series first came out, I was very excited to read it. Kevin had told me about it.
I was wicked excited.
I did a few reviews on issue 1 and 2 on the Nerd Input podcast that we do at nerdinput.com. And, I was really excited. The first issue really had me, and then from there on in, it just kind of plummets and disappoints through and through.
So for people who don't know, Deadpool Back in Black is pretty much the story that that Deadpool gets the symbiote costume, the black costume, instead of, well, not instead, he gets it before Venom, Eddie Brock.
We get to basically see the suit, see how it leaves Peter Parker, and how
Which was cool.
how it
That was the
finds
only cool
its
part.
next victim.
It's garbage. I feel like that the story is really made
Show the other cover.
for teens. Yeah, I'm going to go
okay.
through and through. So this is the first issue. Again, we go back into Secret Wars where apparently Deadpool is in on it too. And then, so first issue
Was like,
okay.
yeah.
It was a grabber. It was cool. This really could be a cool story because Deadpool gets the symbiote suit, okay, and he obtains the same powers as Spider-Man does. So this could be a really cool story. I'm a huge fan of Venom. Huge fan of the symbiote suit. It's my favorite suit. I mean, look at my memorabilia back there. It's all black suited Spider-Man and Venom. Anywho, this is the second issue that we got of Deadpool Back in Black. This is a cover swipe of Amazing Fantasy number 15 or Amazing Spider-Man number 252. I just feel like this issue already, I was like, this is awful.
Yeah, this is when the story takes the biggest dive. The characters that they introduce, the villains, the clown, and the kids.
Yeah.
It's just like, where does this come from?
I don't know.
How did someone say we're going to take this really awesome idea of Deadpool and the symbiote suit, and then we're going to throw all this other junk in there and totally ruin it?
Yeah, we had these kids. I forgot what their name.
It's forgettable.
It's forgettable. This comic was so bad that it's forgettable. I mean, just look at the artwork on how kiddish it looks. It looks like it's really targeted toward kids, and Deadpool really isn't. Deadpool is the merc with the mouth, and he's a mercenary.
Snarky. It's violent. Like, they're not afraid to show the violence in the comic, which is what we're used to seeing. But it just looks totally out of place because the art style does not match the comic book content at all.
So this is the cover swipe that we have of this comic book. This is the original cover that they were trying to go off of. Obviously this one being the better one.
And they sucker you in with stuff like that because they do that a few times throughout the series.
Exactly.
Number 3 and 4, I believe, are also cover swaps of another thing. They're getting you on that nostalgia, and they're not hitting the mark with the story.
So we got a lame villain. Issue number 3. Issue number 3 I felt like was more of the same story. We find out that the symbiote is controlling Deadpool because it likes the feeling of being a superhero. Okay, which is why Deadpool is doing all these things, because Deadpool only does missions when he is getting paid. But the symbiote likes feeling like a superhero, so it makes Deadpool its host.
It attaches to him because he says, a soldier. Finally, someone that I can attach to that is a warrior that'll really help us achieve our goal, and that's why it attaches to him. All those things seem noble, but the stories just miss the mark. Issue 1 through 3 are the exact same story arc. He's there's a few villains that think he's Spider-Man. And they go, oh, Spider-Man, it's not him. Who's it? The Black Cat.
The Black Cat is in this. She's constantly confusing him as Spider-Man. And I don't know if you know, Ryan, but Spider-Man has a huge freaking spider on his chest, and I don't see that on Deadpool. So I don't know why you would get confused. Yeah, but with the web slinging, yeah, I guess.
At a quick glance, but like not 3 stories in a row for people to be constantly like, oh, is that Spider-Man? No, it's not Spider-Man.
The villain in this is also ridiculous. It's a woman who stabs people with rabbits.
Oh, the carrots. I thought that was ridiculous. Yeah. She stabbed people with carrots and had a gun that shot out carrots and stuck in them.
Yeah, and she has radioactive bunnies. And then we also find out, too, that the Venom symbiote is being chased by an alien race. I don't know. So that's another reason why it attaches itself to Deadpool. The 4th issue was a little more exciting to me, okay? So this is another cover swipe, okay? This is the original. So now we're kind of going back to Spider-Man's Kraven's Last Hunt, which was a really good story if you haven't read it. Original cover art by Mike Zeck. So we find out that this is back into the 80s again with Back in Black. We're going back into the 80s, and this is where all this happened as well. So Kraven finds Deadpool swinging around like Spider-Man, and he goes on a hunt to go kill Spider-Man. He almost succeeds. He beats up Deadpool pretty good. He doesn't succeed. The Venom symbiote ends up taking over Deadpool and goes crazy and has a rage. And
there's a few times that happens actually, where you think Deadpool's got the suit, understood, and then the suit crosses on him and goes too far with certain villains.
He really hurts him. The ending part was the best because he says, like, listen, if you're gonna kill Spider-Man, use a gun, and that's kind of a tip off we get in the Amazing Spider-Man Kraven's Last Hunt. He starts using a gun to try to, and he does succeed. He doesn't kill Spider-Man because he doesn't want to kill Spider-Man. He actually is so infatuated with Spider-Man that he doesn't want to kill him. So our last issue was another cover swipe. So all this Deadpool did was just do a bunch of cover swipes to get people to buy this comic book series to get you, and it was a horrible, horrible story. This one was okay. We thought, oh, we're going to get a appearance of Spider-Man in this, and Spider-Man gets knocked out by the alien hunters, and
I had already fallen off before you even got into that issue.
He's not even in the comic after that.
So. He told me that was the last issue, and I was shocked because I was like, wow, they're already pulling the plug on it already. It must not be doing well, and no wonder, because it's just not a great comic. They banked on nostalgia with this, and the fact that Spider-Man and Deadpool are one of their two biggest paying red-suited superheroes of all time, and we're gonna want to see that. Yeah. But it was
awful. Story was awful, and a lot of people said I read reviews. A lot of people liked it. I don't see how. I really don't see how. No. There were two comics out of that were somewhat okay. But
it just progressively got worse and worse. Like when the stories kept ending the same way and introducing the villain, and then they would come in, it was just like,
thumbs down.
Yeah, no good. Sorry guys, we'll not be purchasing any more of those.
And I hear from the grapevine that even though the movie Deadpool just came out, Deadpool runs are not doing really good right now.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
So we're away from Christmas. We're 6 days away from Christmas.
Pre-Christmas episode for all of you.
And so Ryan, I got you a little gift here.
Well, that is very nice of you. I thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Let's see what we got here.
It's pretty cool. It's very Ryan.
I love how you say I'm so easy.
You're very easy to buy for. Very, very easy to buy for. So you can save up all your coins and save up your monies. So I thought he was pretty cool. He is probably one of the best bus banks. I really love these bus banks. They're really cool. You pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars for a bus.
For a sculpture of decent quality.
And these kind of do the trick because these are only like $20 and they have a great sculpt, a great paint, and you get to save your money.
Doesn't leave you much to put in the bank though, I'll tell you.
No, well, I mean, I'm sure people have multiple things of these and they just keep putting coins and coins in.
I got like 3 Batmans and 2 Jokers and everything.
And then they go to Stop and Shop and then they end up just cashing in all the coins.
Well, that was very nice of you to get me something. So I also got you a little something.
Oh, you're so nice. A little penguin. Oh, yeah. Oh, what could it be? Oh, boy. That is dope. That is dope. If anyone doesn't know me, okay, I love me a good Spider-Man figure, and I love a good Scarlet Spider-Man.
I bought this over a month ago, and you came by the house, and I had left that out. And you were like, oh, bought the Spider-Man. And I was like, oh, yeah, I bought it, and, I looked at it for so many weeks, wanted to buy it for myself, when really I just left out your Christmas present.
Wow. Wow.
And you would notice, and I was like, oh, damn it, now he's going to know. So I just kind of put it away, forgot about it. That's why today even I texted, and I was like, oh, I don't know what to get you, just to kind of help keep the surprise going. So I knew you'd like that, and that'd be a really cool gift to open on the show.
Scarlet Spider-Man is a clone of Spider-Man who originally thought he was the original Spider-Man. There's a big story back in the 80s on who was the real Spider-Man. Was it the Scarlet Spider, Ben Reilly, or was it Peter Parker, Spider-Man? And we ended up finding out that there was only a certain time limit on these clones, and Ben Reilly ends up melting away. And and we find out
That's
that Peter
crazy.
Parker is the real Spider-Man.
Well, one of my favorite suits. So cool, so different, so unique, in a way that like anyone can dress up as that. Basically,
yeah,
you know,
this is a very easy
some red and a blue
cosplay
hood, and
that you see a lot.
Josh, that I work with, actually did a cosplay of it, and it looks really, really awesome. So,
But probably my my third favorite costume. Definitely, you know, you love the original. I do love the black suited Spider-Man better. That is my favorite Spider-Man costume. Is that black suited Spider-Man? Love that. Look at that. I mean, that's how it originally should have been.
That's how it should have been. Man.
That's how it originally should have been. And you know, with fanboys saying not liking it and sending death threats to Marvel, saying you better change that
People don't
costume
like
back,
change. So lame.
or you know, I will kill myself or I will kill you. That's how bad people get. But I really wish that the black costume was first. I love it. And original creator was Mike Zeck on that, who I got to meet at Rhode Island Comic Con, which is very nice.
How we got here.
So that will wrap up today's episode. So Spider-Man Homecoming. We also got Deadpool Back in Black and really cool Christmas gifts. So please check us out on our Facebook. Send us a message if you have any comments or if there's anything you would like us to review. We will definitely look into it. You can also email us at superpowerreview@gmail.com. You can email us there and send us any questions as well. And
Don't forget to check out the YouTube channel.
Yep.
Which is Superpower Review after youtube.com. And you know, give the video a like, share it if you really like it, subscribe. Don't forget to hit the little bell button so you get notifications every time we do this. We're going to be, you know, hopefully doing this about twice a month or so we can get all the nerd news to you as soon as possible.
And we hope you like the show. So that will be wrapping up for today. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and we'll see you guys soon. High five, brother.